What a night it was. Round number 6, Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Lucas Oil Stadium as our residency in the Hoosier State comes to a conclusion. Alongside the 5-time AMA Supercross champion Ricky Carmichael, I am Todd Harris. Wow, what a great 3 races here. Let's focus on tonight, because if you weren't a Ken Roczen believer before tonight, you definitely are now.
Yeah, you got to be. The 3-peat here in Indy, closing it out, clean sweep. And, I mean, his results speak for themselves. Every part of his program is really clicking on all 8 cylinders.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more that he can do. I do think that he needs to keep in the back of his mind that Cooper Webb is gaining some ground. You listen to Cooper Webb after the race, and he's been pretty open about that air shock. They've been working on it, and they've gotten it a lot better. He said he feels really, really comfortable. I could just hear in his tone, I think they're finally in a good place. He caught up to Ken, tried to make a run. He made a little mistake and wasn't able to do that long rhythm section, so that really put him behind. But, I mean, it's not over, but certainly Ken Roczen has been incredible.
He sweeps Indy, all 3 wins in his pocket as he gets set to go to Orlando. Let's take a look at the highlights. Ken Roczen went out, got the whole shot, and he had Justin Barsha, number 51, on him, and they come together. And Barsha just came in hot, but maybe he wasn't anticipating what Ken was going to do.
After I look back at it, maybe he wasn't anticipating it. It'll be interesting to see what they both have to say about it. But you got to give it up to the 51 on that Red Bull Gas KTM machine. He was riding very well. Makes a mistake there. The 2 pounces on it. The door opened up, and he made the pass.
So Cooper Webb gets past him. Eli Tomac was in the mix, and Cooper Webb now trying to track down Roczen. And this was the incident with the lap rider Vince Friese not yielding. Find out what he thought about this, but Justin Barsha collects with him. He goes down, and Eli Tomac comes over that berm, and there's nowhere for him to go, so he is collected. Disappointing for those two because they were running 3rd and 4th. But in the end, it was all Ken Roczen. Cooper Webb thought he might have an opportunity, but as it came down to the final right turn, checkers out, Roczen 3-peats in Indy. So we take a look at the points after 6 rounds, and this is what it looks like. Cooper Webb now 16 points back of Ken Roczen. Eli Tomac 24 points back. Adam Cianciarulo and Justin Barsha, your top 5. Well, it was quite a night. You saw a lot of the emotion play out down there. What was your takeaway?
There was a lot. There was a lot of emotion from Ken Roczen, probably mostly from him, actually. I think the rest of the podium was a little quiet, Todd. It was sort of like I was trying to read the guys. And to Ricky's point there with Cooper Webb, it was interesting to hear him talk because he wasn't ecstatic at taking a second. It was Cooper in his sense of, this isn't enough. I was capable of more, and he wants more. And to what you said earlier on there, Ricky, about Cooper, we got to watch him, right? I was talking to his mechanic, Carlos Rivera, earlier, and he said the same thing that you did. He said, you know, it's just, there's nothing wrong. It's just about putting it all together. He said it just has to come together. There's the incidences, getting used to the air shock, like you said. It's just a work in progress. So tonight, really, we saw a lot of those elements come together, didn't we, for Cooper? And then once he gets in that situation, we know how dangerous he is. But just to kind of reverse that a little bit, if you look on the Ken Roczen side of things, Ricky, I love your phrase you said a couple of rounds ago that Cooper Webb was the kryptonite to Ken Roczen. Well, tonight we saw him in a similar situation, fending off Cooper Webb that we did there in round 3 in Houston. But tonight, Cooper Webb did not get the better of him. He was able to hold him off. So you've got to wonder too for Ken Roczen now, is he just thinking, you know, I've checked that one off. I've got 3 in a row here, and I held off a guy who kind of does that to him a lot. It's happened quite a few times in the 2020 and 2019 season as well. So Daniel, I don't know, a lot going on there tonight, wasn't there?
Yeah, a lot going on, and I feel bad for Justin Barsha. Look, he came here in Indianapolis on the first race, had a horrible night, and got better, and got the second on Tuesday. Then tonight he wins his heat race. He's up front battling. Webb gets him, Tomac gets him. He gets Tomac back, and just a lot of progress from him and fighting towards the podium. But I just feel bad for what happened to him. But this incident right here, Ricky, like you said, I don't think he meant to come in that hard. You can see him kind of breaking a little bit, but at the same time, kind of a little bit of a message sent to Ken Roczen too. When a guy's kind of picking up momentum and just starting to win, you got to do something to rattle him. So even though he didn't go in and take the pass or hit him too hard, just going in there and trying to shake him up, I think, is okay for these guys, because when a guy has momentum, you got to find a way to stop it. And if you can't beat him straight up, maybe you got to mess with him and get him to make a mistake. And But for Justin Barcia, I thought he rode great. The outcome was horrible, but at the same time, I think overall a good night for him, at least on the track.
All right, thank you, Daniel. So a lot to digest in the 450 class. Ken Roczen, though, will take that points lead down to Orlando and the momentum, and then we'll see if anyone can take him down as the temperature comes up. Speaking of heating up, the 250 East class, Ricky, they are running out of time. But if you're trying to track down Colt Nichols, tonight was your night to pounce. He had that terrible crash early on, and Christian Craig did exactly what he had to do.
And you know what? You can call it how you want to.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Christian got lucky, but you know what? He was in the right place at the right time. And to be a champion, you have to do that. You always don't have to be the fastest guy. You got to be the smartest guy and be in great positions. And he took advantage of a mistake that was self-inflicted by Colt Nichols today. I still think Colt is in a great position.
Right.
However, now the points are tight, and Colt's going to have to perform.
Yeah, no question. 450 East gets together down in Orlando, and then they have the long playoff until Salt Lake City. All right, so Colt Nichols gets the whole shot out in front. We're thinking, here he goes again, and then this happens.
Yeah, he comes out of that corner. His front tire goes over the rut. His rear tire's still in the rut, and that thing snapped sideways, and he got lucky. He landed on top of that tough tabletop.
So everyone goes past the points leader, Colt Nichols, and he goes to work, mounts his bike, jumps on board that Yamaha, and starts chipping away at the field.
I mean, we didn't even get to really watch him because we were so entrenched in the comeback of Colt Nichols and battling with Jet Lawrence, but this guy was just on rails. He had no pressure, and he's back in it.
So Christian Craig checking out, and we had a nice battle here, and this is one of the funnest races of the night with Jet Lawrence and the points leader, Colt Nichols.
Yeah, Colt got by, but then Jet's just so talented. He slowed up just a little bit early and crossed back underneath Colt.
Very crafty racing by both guys, and this is the one I love the most. Almost comes to a complete stop, but meanwhile that was giving Christian Craig more space, more breathing room, and in the end it was the 64 getting past the 18.
Yeah, eventually Colt made it happen, and the 18 wasn't able to get back by. And you know what, you got to give it to Colt Nichols. He was dead last. He come all the way back up to third position. And look at the 18 of Jet Lawrence. He comes out of that corner, the shock rebounds and unloads just a little bit and pushes him off to the side of the track.
Christian Craig, what a moment for him. He's waited since the first round in Houston when he won that. He comes back here in Indy, and what a relief. It's just a sigh of, yes, it's exactly what I needed. So really the chase is on. Christian Craig, Colt Nichols, as we take a look at the point standings. It is now down to 6. Christian Craig closing that gap. Joe Shimoda now in a podium position in third. Jet Lawrence going to fourth. And Michael Mosman, who we reported injured, he broke his hand, so we'll see how that plays out. Daniel, what a night it was, but if you're Christian Craig, you got exactly what you needed. You needed a small break, and it was handed to you.
Hey, sometimes you just got to be in the right place at the right time. And, you know, to be fair to Christian Craig, as I've already seen some people on Instagram hit me up and saying, oh, he lucked into it. That is not fair. Colt went down on his own. He made a mistake and went down. Christian was there to pounce, took off and won the race. That's not luck. That's earned. That's being in the right spot and taking advantage of someone else's mistake that they did on their own. I'd like to focus on the Nichols and Lawrence battle, though. That was so much fun to watch. I mean, they're going back and forth, playing the little game, and Jet had some really good racecraft. And Nichols got him once. He got him back. Then he does the little brake, kind of a little brake check right there. And it was just one of those battles that was really fun to watch because they were really trying to figure each other out. Colt was not trying to take any chances that were, you know, too crazy, that would be too risky, but then to watch them sit down and talk it out, they're laughing, they're going over the race, and I mean, if I'm Colt Nichols, there might be a little frustration. I'm trying to get back to the front, and this kid's blocking me and playing with me, but it was great to see him go right up to him and respect. They're laughing, talking about it, so it was awesome to see Jet ride that way and bounce back from the shoulder injury. Great ride from Colt to come back to third, and Will, just overall a fun night in the 250 class. Again, great for Craig, but I had a lot of fun watching Nichols and Lawrence.
It was great, wasn't it? And they have such, like you said, such a wonderful sort of, you know, camaraderie going on there. And likewise, we see that with Jet Lawrence and Joe Shimoda as well, don't we? Those two really great friends. We see them on and off the track sort of messing with each other. And Joe, guys, what a fantastic race for him. He stood up on the podium today and he claimed that second. And he said, yes, I earned this one. You can see how proud he was. He thanked everybody. He thanked his parents for getting there. I think tonight was the one that he's been waiting for. He's talked about consistency all season long, and oh my goodness, has he done that. His scores have gone 4-5, 4-3, 4-2, and through that we've had great starts. We've had a lap where he's been down, in the first lap and managed to come through, and he's still put the results in, which has just been incredible throughout the whole thing. He's so methodical, he thinks his way through it, and tonight we saw that pass on Oldenburg. He was assertive out there. I think we're just seeing not a more aggressive Joe Shimoda, but just somebody who's a little bit more sure of himself as that confidence is building. We've seen now he's third in points. Todd, as you pointed out there on the point standings, is he going to be able to take this title? No, there's not much time left to do that, is there? But he's definitely put himself in the mix, and he stayed in it throughout the whole season, and that's important, especially when we've lost so many of these 250 riders.
All right, thank you very much, Will and Daniel. Great job, as always, throughout this residency. Ricky, we now head south to your home state, and what will be different being in Orlando, other than the temperature will be a lot warmer?
Well, we'll be outside, so there's a chance of, Mother Nature, see how that plays out. But two things, 250 first. I want to see how Colt Nichols responds to what happened here tonight. Can he bounce back and get back into his winning ways? Can Christian Craig take advantage of the gift that he got here tonight and keep on going? Now, move over to the 450. With having 7 days until our next race and not having a quick turnaround and racing on Tuesday, is that going to give the other guys that maybe need to work on their bikes enough time to come out and be better and challenge Ken Roczen, or is Ken going to keep on being dominant the way he's been? That's what's on my radar.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Remember, that's next weekend, next Saturday in the Sunshine State. There you see the lineup at 7:30 live on NBCSN. Our friend and colleague Lee Diffie rejoins the broadcast crew for what will be an amazing night of racing. Round 7, Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship as it moves to Florida. So on behalf of Will Christien and Daniel Blair and Ricky Carmichael, I'm Todd Harris saying good night and so long from Indianapolis. Ken Roczen on a roll. Christian Craig bouncing back. We'll see you in Florida.
Hi, I'm Will Christien, and thank you all so much for watching. I'm here to remind you to hit subscribe for all the latest Supercross news and highlights. And of course, don't forget to sign up for Peacock Premium. That is now the new home for streaming for all live Supercross events all season long.